Hi everyone. I wanted to jump on and do a quick video. I know some of us are struggling with all the food that we have in the house. We have some cravings. We can't help ourselves. We're kind of feeling like we're a little bit out of control. We can't stop thinking about food. Maybe we're munching a little bit more than normal. And so I teach a concept inside my Breakup with Binging course. It's called an adult timeout. And I coach my clients through using this concept because I personally use it myself. I practice it day to day still. I put myself on an adult timeout a little while ago. And it's a super powerful tactic that I want you to start implementing now, every day, for forever. Because it's super powerful in you regaining some self-control, some perspective, and just empowering yourself to make better decisions. Hey, Ashley. How are you doing, friend? How are you feeling today? And so the idea with an adult timeout is, let me paint a picture for you. If there's ever a moment where you have a craving, you're in the mood to eat something, right? It could be in the morning, could be in the afternoon, it could be late at night, whenever it is for you. What we tend to do is we react very impulsively to that craving, and we, without even thinking, sometimes we'll find ourselves in the kitchen grabbing the food and just eating. And while it's totally okay to eat food, what ends up happening for a lot of us who struggle with binge eating is we overdo it, we overindulge. We're actually turning to food as kind of this buffer, this Band-Aid in our life to make us feel some sort of way, right? We might be stressed or anxious or worried about things. And we know that when we eat, we kind of find this little bit of temporary relief, and it soothes us, it provides us with comfort. But then invariably, we overdo it, we overconsume, and we find ourselves physically just feeling uncomfortable and bloated and just kind of blah. And mentally, we're now frustrated that we ate all of the things off of our plan, and we kind of beat ourselves up, and we're judging ourselves and like, I have no self-control. And when we do that, we're in the state of defeat, of feeling defeated. And then what do? We go and eat even more. Right? And that's where we're binging. We go from cookies to crackers to chips to ice cream, and we're eating all of the things. And so for a lot of us, we realize that our binge eating and our overindulging is problematic because, one, it's unhealthy physically, and mentally it's taking its toll. And we're feeling unhealthy within our own bodies. We're gaining weight. It's so taxing, and we want to be able to stop doing that. But we tell ourselves that we can't because we don't have self-control. This has become a really bad thing. I can't, help myself. Cue the adult timeout. What I want you to do the next time you have an urge to eat is I want you to be proactive, not reactive, proactive in using this tool to help you slow down for a moment and think about your decisions. Think about your action, and if this is something that you want to do. Think about the after, the ramification of your decision, and is it worth it? Is it worth it to indulge in some junk food that maybe you've craved for 20 seconds when you have this body and this life that you want for yourself that you've been craving your whole life, but you're never achieving that because you're always reacting to food and impulsively eating? So take a moment to pause. The next time you feel, oh my God, like I need something to eat, I just want something, and there's that sense of urgency, instead of reacting with food, react with a pause, stop for a moment, take a couple of conscious breaths, right? In through the nose, exhale out through the mouth, do that 4 times and pause for a second. And this is where I want you to cue the adult timeout. Grab your phone and set a timer for 30 minutes. And really say to yourself, I'm giving myself a timeout, an adult timeout. I'm using these next 30 minutes to think about the decision, if I want to eat, to think about my goals, to kind of just be with myself for a moment and recognize that I'm having a craving. It's this vibration that I'm experiencing, and I can be with this vibration. Like, a craving has never killed you. An urge has never killed you. If you didn't answer it, while it feels terrible to say no to yourself in that moment because I'd prefer to be eating Oreos. That sounds delightful. I'm stressed. I'm worried, Leah. I just want to eat. I just want that comfort. While that sounds appealing, we know that invariably doesn't end well. And so although we can find some temporary comfort, we then feel terrible after the fact. And so what I'm trying to get you to do is you can feel the discomfort of overeating after you've had your binge. You're going to physically and mentally feel uncomfortable. Or you can intentionally choose to feel that discomfort ahead of time on purpose, intentionally during your time out, and say that, yes, this is uncomfortable for me to have to be with this craving and not answer the urge. But by me sitting here with myself for 30 minutes, I can really allow this vibration to just kind of process and think about what's going on for me and why I'm turning to food as my solution. Does that make sense? So using 30 minutes, and look, that time is going to be subjective. I always do 30 minutes. You might want to do an hour. You might want to do 10 minutes. It's up to you. But the goal is for you to be with yourself and allow yourself to experience being a human who's having a craving without the judgment of you thinking that something has gone wrong and you have to solve this, because nothing has gone wrong. It's totally fine for you to have cravings. You're a normal human. Humans have cravings. It's inevitable. I have a couple a day because something will smell good, or my brain will just want me to have something sweet because I'm low on energy, and it's totally fine. But I can't react to that and just go and eat. And so if it's not on my plan. And so I put myself in this timeout and I allow myself to just kind of process what's going on. And what's great is that after the 30 minutes, I usually then don't even want the food. And I'm grateful that I didn't react impulsively. I want you to think of your adult timeout as what you would do with your children. If your baby came to you and it's 10 o'clock at night and said, Mom, I want a candy bar, you wouldn't just say, here you go, okay, here you go, and react and go, no problem, right? Even if your child was like, I want one, I have a craving, I have an urge, like I need to have it, you would say, no, like we're not eating right now. Let's take some time, go lay in your bed, and you would parent them through their craving and know that they're not gonna die leaving their urge unanswered. So you need to parent yourself in the same capacity. And that's the problem here, is that we're no longer kids living with our parents where they can smack cookies out of our hands, right? Like we have to be parenting ourselves. And that's where we have to say no when we have a craving and a desire to eat off of our protocol and overeat. But realizing that no is a boundary that we are setting from a place of love, because we're thinking about the after, and we know that the consequence of this, we don't want to experience that physical and mental repercussion. And so we say no, even though it's a painful no to say. We do that out of love, like restriction out of love. We parent ourselves. We put ourselves on this adult time out, and we use that 30 minutes. And here's where I want to challenge you. I don't want to say it's easy to distract yourself in the 30 minutes, but it's easy to use that 30 minutes to now go do something else. Like you have this craving. I want the ice cream. I want the ice cream. I set the timer for 30 minutes. Let me go clean. Let me go tidy up. Let me go and brush my teeth. Let me go and do all of these other things to distract me from wanting the food. While you totally can do that, and it's up to you how you want to use your adult time out, I want to challenge you to use that time to actually be with yourself without the distractions, to really turn into experiencing what is going on for you, to realize that you won't die from that experience. Up until this point, we feel like, oh no, when I have cravings, when I have urges, like if I don't answer it, something bad is going to happen. Like I'm going to die. Like give me all of the food. You cannot die from a feeling. And a feeling is just an internal vibration. Like if you were to sit with yourself for 30 minutes, next time you have a craving, and like really like test this, use it as an experiment. The next time you have a craving, excuse me, to eat chips, you're going to say no to yourself. You're going to set the timer and you're going to go, okay, adult timeout. I'm going to go and sit in my room quietly or in my office somewhere, sit on the floor, whatever. And I'm just going to be with myself. And I'm going to ask myself, like, what's going on with me? This craving, what does it feel like? Is it heavy in my chest, back of my neck? What's my heart doing? If this was a color, what could it be? Like, really be with yourself to experience this feeling and realize that it is just a feeling that will pass. And you being with yourself in this capacity is the key to emotional adulthood, because we so badly don't want to feel our emotions. We judge them, we run from them, we want to suppress them. We want to buffer our feelings when we're feeling stressed or anxious or worried. We want to band-aid them with food or with alcohol or with drugs or with sex or gambling or shopping or Netflix or social media or all of these things, because we're telling ourselves the biggest lie, which is, I can't experience that. Of course you can. Of course you can. When you're experiencing a feeling, when you're having a normal human response to the world, which is worry and anxiety, like, it's okay. You can feel this feeling and allow it to be with you and to recognize it. And I promise you, you allow that vibration to, you give it the light of day, you acknowledge it, you allow it to pass through you. You then make this really powerful shift to then put your thinking hat on how you can now be better moving forward. Is that helpful? I hope that that's helpful. So put yourself on the adult timeout. Give yourself 30 minutes, sit with yourself, parent yourself, and really be a friend to yourself in that moment. It's so interesting. When I think to myself, and if I had a girlfriend who came to me and she said, Leah, I'm really worried and I'm anxious. She shows up to my house and she says this hypothetically. I would never say, here's a bag of chips. Eat all of this. And when you're done, you're going to have Oreos. And then when you're done, you must have ice cream. That'll fix it. Right? Like, the solutions to your anxiety are not at the bottom of the chip bag. How would you treat a friend in that moment? If your friend said, I've had a really crummy day and I'm feeling so stressed, you would say, what's going on? Talk to me. You would hug her. You would embrace her. You would give her some space to share with you what's going on. And that's what I want you to do for yourself, is when you have these moments to turn to food because life is so hard, realizing that overeating and reacting with food is not a true source of comfort. What's going to be comforting is you being kind, compassionate, curious toward yourself, and giving yourself some time to allow yourself to be a human and process that emotion, knowing that it's not going to kill you, knowing that it will make you stronger to feel that and allow it to pass. And then when the time is up, then what? Now what? Now who do you want to be? How do you want to think, feel, and act now moving forward? Yes? Okay. I hope that this was helpful and insightful. And I'll circle back with you gals if you need anything else. Yay for adult timeouts. I'm doing it. You need to be doing it. Let me ask you this. And this is for you to reflect here for a moment. And maybe you want to comment so I can help you. What is the main feeling that comes up for you that you notice that you avoid wanting to feel, so you go and eat? Can you identify what that feeling is in one word? Worry, sadness, frustration. What is it? And then I want to ask you, what if the currency to you breaking up with binging, what if the currency to you experiencing food freedom, for you losing the weight, is you feeling that feeling? Because we know every time you feel that feeling, you go and eat. And so the answer isn't to eat, because if we're overeating, then we're never going to stop binge eating. We're never going to lose the weight. We're doing the one thing that's creating the cycle of us staying in an unhealthy physical and mental state. And so the answer isn't to overeat, it's to feel this feeling. Now, I'm not saying you need to solve all of the things in your life that are creating this feeling. Like, that's a topic for another conversation. But it's just acknowledging that I'm having this feeling. I'm with worry. I'm with anxiety. I'm with sadness. And it's okay. Hear me when I say this. It's okay to be with this feeling, because this is what being a human is. This is the spectrum of emotions that we as humans experience on earth. And I can be with this feeling knowing that, one, I've had it before and I've survived. Like, you've already survived 100% of your worst days. The anxiety that you're feeling, you felt it before and you've made it through. Instead of pushing it down and wishing it wasn't here, what if you, here's anxiety. I'm with anxiety today and I can still kick ass. I can still be amazing. It's here. I can turn the volume down a little bit. I can put the anxiety in my backpack, carry my backpack with me all day and still do all of the things. It's there, but I'm not trying to run from it anymore. I can be with it. I can manage it. And adult timeouts is how you're going to do it. Okay. I love you all. I'm here for you if you need me. Reach out anytime. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.